Welcome back to the Nordic Centre here at Strubsky Pleso for continued coverage from the 2015 Winter Universiade. And we turn our attention back to ski jumping here on Eurosport. Simon Golding with you for this mixed team event. Should be interesting. We've had some good trial round jumping, particularly from the Russians. And there is the Russian support. They dominate the medal table at the moment. And their number one team, Zedinov and Avakumova, look like they're going to dominate this particular competition. So there's going to be our starting order for the first round. Russia with two teams in. Gladisheva and Maxim Mochkin could feature on the medal table. China also have two teams. Their second team, though, not quite up to it in terms of the distances that they turned in the trial round. Wang Bingrong, in fact, the men's jumper got only 55.5 metres, so it's going to be difficult for the second of the Chinese teams to feature. But certainly the Chinese number one team with Li and Li look in good shape. And then we'll see whether Japan, Czech Republic can get in on the action along with these Russian athletes who've performed so well over the last few days, winning the women's individual and women's team events and picking up medals in the men's individual event as well. We'll see the whole of the women's group down, 9 jumpers, then a short break and it'll go to the men. Tom from Universiade. Technically sound is Martong. It's a partner who has the problems, and again you can just see how difficult this is. Nobody enjoying this, and 61 metres, that's 5 metres down on a trial round jump, and that's where it went wrong. Came off the table reasonably strongly, but then just lost that left side and couldn't get it back on track. So 36.1 points. It'll be Vladena Pushkova, Czech Republic 2. Got a relatively strong challenge, the Czech Republic, Pushkova and Czech. And then their number one team, Dolozolova and Suchek. Let's see if someone can get in amongst it. There's a medal to be had. These sort of conditions are great levelers. There is certainly a medal to be had, but not for the moment. So comes back out of the gate. But at least the competition's underway. Well, the first two jumpers down tell us exactly how we're going to be going in this competition today. It's going to be stop-start all the way. Martong in your picture is down for China, and Anastasia Gladisheva down for Russia too. Gladisheva with the better jump and better score. Pushkova bronze in the team event for the women, along with Dolozolova. They've got a good strong challenge here, the Czech Republic. Can she get ahead of Gladisheva? Big wide V position, throwing a lot into the wind there, and everybody with a similar reaction, hands over the face once they've landed. That will be a lot more to do with the cold and the wind blowing into the face than it is with a shocked reaction to the distance. That was a solid enough jump from Pushkova. And 48.6 marks for her. Second position keeps them in touch. Japan, another of these teams with a double entry into this competition. Matsuhashi goes with Kanta Takanashi. That's a familiar ski jump name for you there. The men's team. And good effort. That looked like a really strong jump from Matsuhashi. That's the first athlete that we've really seen attack off the table. Will she get the reward for it? 83 metres, she does. Best jump of this first round then. And Japan could be challenging Russia here. Gladysheva's opener not there at 79 metres. And first position, 85.9 points after that 83-metre jump. That's excellent work from Aki Matsuhashi. Katerina Karl then for Austria. Again, good aggression off the table, but just cut that one off a little. Frustrated expression. An immediate reaction to that 60-metre jump. Hit it hard, but looks like she hit that pretty late. Just kills everything off the table. So not good. And on a day like today, as I said, when it is a leveller, it is a chance. You can't afford for a 60-metre jump, and that might be damage that can't be repaired in a score sense. Li Shui Yao. And then for China, goes with Li Chao. That's China 1. Capable of big jumps is this young lady. And you could see there from the flight, that is a very sketchy landing. That's not a lot of fun. Surprised to see no one using the face tape today, if it really is that chilly out there. 77 metres, the air temperature not bad at all, but introduce that wind factor. That decreases the temperature rapidly. Solid jump, but not as far as her trial round jump. 6 metres short of that, in fact. 70.6 then for third position for China 1. Michaela Dolezalova in this sort of company. Charles University student from Prague. He's one of the quality performers, no doubt about it. 42nd at the moment on the World Cup rankings. Picked up that team bronze medal with Pushkova in the women's event the other day. And she had to it here today. That's a good, solid, aggressive jump from Dolezalova. And that's more like the sort of hang time we're looking for from the better athletes. Now, what sort of distance is that converted to? 78 metres. Well, it's down on Matsuhashi. But it's a good scoring jump that will put Czech Republic 1 into the mix. Yeah, third place, and Dolezalova does have a big jump in her. We know that. See if she can find it in the second round. Yuka Kobayashi then. We're into the two favourites for this event. Silver in the women's individual. Good World Cup experience. Has taken her to 37th on the standings, and Kobayashi is going to be in amongst it for Japan 1. Goes with brother Yunshiro. Jumping for the men. Nice little change of hand position on that flight, and that's worked very well indeed. Kobayashi, 91.8 points for that 85.5 metre jump. So that's equalled the best that Avakamova produced in her trial round jump. Let's see if Avakamova can take it out to that. She's had a bit of a quiet start to this season, but still at 6th on the World Cup standings. Took her a little bit of time to get over the disappointment of 16th in that first women's Olympic competition in Sochi. I don't think we'll see her celebrate after that one. Gutted, in fact. Questioning. 77.5. My goodness me. That's put Russia 1 under serious pressure. And the team that has so far dominated ski jump proceedings here at the Winter Universiade 2015 dumped into 4th place. 77.5 points overall. And a furious Avakamova storms away from the finish area. Well, that's left her partner Ilmir Hazedinov with an absolute mountain to, I won't say climb, but jump down. I'm going to see if we can check for you the results. There we go. Japan 1 ahead of Japan 2. It's all good for them. And that's a handy lead as well. And Russian Federation 2 ahead of Russian Federation 1. That won't go down well with Avakamova either. Czech Republic number number one team with dollars all over, they're going to have to offer a little bit more through the concluding rounds. But that's how things stand with all 9 teams down in round 1 for the women. 9 teams for the men to come then here in Stróbskie Pleso. The snow now falling a little less aggressively in terms of its direction. It was being blown about quite dramatically by the wind. We hope that that will convert to getting this competition through with just the need for clearing the in-run. Looking good at the moment for Japan 1 and 2. Both Matsuhashi and Kobayashi producing excellent jumps. And for the 9 men, Maxim Mochkin and Hazedenov go for Russia. And it's Takanashi and Kobayashi go for the men for Japan, and a little bit of radio communication back up to the top. Yes, it's that sort of day, isn't it? I don't think we can quite call that a blanket, but anything will help at this point. Games flame burning in the background, but it's the only bit of warmth here at the moment in this Nordic Centre. The sporting centre here at Stróbskie Pleso. Almost unrecognisable after the huge amount of reparations undertaken in a very short space of time as well over the last year. Organisers done well. Away we go then with the next 9 jumpers in this first round. Mixed team event, so the men go now. Not a great opener from Gladysheeva, but better than Russia won, so can Mikhail Maximochkin get in amongst it. The men were jumping high 80s in their trial round. Hazedenov was the furthest at 91.5, so actually in the conditions that compares well. So Maximochkin at 88 will combine with Gladysheva's 79-metre jump. 105.1 points is the overall total. So that's the total to beat now for the remaining 8 athletes to see where they will feature going into the second round. Now, this young man, I do fear a little for Wang Bingrong. Looked really uncertain in his first round jump for 55 metres in the trial round. He's not going to go anywhere near that distance to beat. That's a much more solid first round opener from Bingrong. But distance-wise, that won't help China 2's cause at all. 54.5. So while he looked more confident in the air, his actual distance, half a metre down on the trial round. For 26.8 points. Czech Republic 2. And Puchkova are always going to have to go to their very best in order to attack that podium. But if you get some decent jumps out, well, you never know. Mistakes can happen in these conditions. Jumping without gloves and not jumping as well as he would like. Hacek below par on that one. So 69 metres isn't going to do it, I'm afraid. Yeah, I think that sums it up adequately. 63 points then for him. 15.5, 16.5. So we're not going to see any really classy technicians except for the World Cup athletes. I think it'll be quite noticeable, the difference. So, good ski jumping name for you next. Kenta Takanashi. Kenta teamed up with Akai Matsuhashi. He produced a really good jump for the women in the first round. Can her mixed team partner deliver? Oh, that's like it. That's more like it. So Takanashi with a good distance. This should keep Japan 2's challenge in reasonably good nick at 86 metres. A little bit of waving as he got to the back end of that jump. That's a shame. Probably cut off half a metre or so there. But 92.7, when you consider the best score at the moment is Maxim Mochkin's at 105.1, then that is up there, certainly. And the way that Matsuhashi is jumping, there's a real chance of a medal for Japan too. So Lucas Möller looking to repair the damage from that first round jump of Katharina Kahl. That won't help his mindset up in the gate there. Visibility not improving. But the wind changing to a backwind from a crosswind. Everything, of course, coming with its own particular demands when it comes to the breeze and ski jumping. As long as it's consistent and not swirling, then you have more of a chance to make the decisions you need to make. But again, this snow starting to blow across the venue. Just changing direction in a fraction of a second in the coaches area, so it's not that predictable. But fortunately not excessively strong. Although indeed, that's Wang Bingron. 55 and 54.5 metres he's jumped so far today. One more jump to come from the China 2 athlete as Lucas Möller gets back out to the gate. The Austrian coach not sure about this either. I think we might see him come out of the gate once more. Yeah. Definite decision, definite raise of the flag and shake of the head from Möller. That's the second time he's come out of the gate. This is about the wind. So the blowers will have to get on again on that in-run. See how many changes of direction we get on that wind gauge. Basic but effective, but not quite the computer graphics that the coaches have in their area.
Sport meets culture in one of the season's biggest events. The Winter Universiade posts impressive stats. 2,500 student athletes from 50 participating countries, all striving for excellence in body and mind. The 27th Winter Universiade from January 26th to February 15th, live on British Eurosport and British Eurosport 2.
Today's stars, tomorrow's leaders.
This is the new Nissan Juke. Tested to thrill. Nissan, innovation that excites. And now, unleash the thrill with the all-new Nissan Juke Nismo RS.
I was like most blokes, bothering dancing. You're having a laugh, but I've given it a bash. Now I'm hooked. Mind you, all this gear doesn't come cheap. Still, Aviva saved me a few quid on my car insurance. Quality rhinestones didn't grow on trees, you know.
Until the end of January, you could save up to 30% when you buy online, direct from Aviva.
Set sail with Emerald Waterways, Europe's newest deluxe river cruise line, and travel through the heart of Europe. With a heated pool, great dining, and spacious staterooms and suites, our award-winning ships are created to be inspiring. Book now and save at least £1,000 per couple. Call 0808 102 0404 for your free brochure.
We needed to sell our home quickly.
We tried estate agents, but it wouldn't shift.
So we spoke to We Buy Any Home.
Within 24 hours, they made us a cash offer.
It was less than market value, but the cash was guaranteed. And it was in our account in just 7 days.
No fees. No chains.
No hassle.
They even covered all the legal costs.
Sell your home fast. Call We Buy Any Home and get a cash offer within 24 hours.
The last 4 hours have seen one child fail to get to the air sickness bag in time. Another left his shoes on the plane. His shoes. And a third just simply doesn't want to be here. Until now. Until right booking now. Planet Earth's #1 accommodation site. Booking.com. Booking.yeah.
So long at a FIS World Cup venue. Certainly has plans to return to that, and part of the repair work and rejuvenation work that was done for this Universiade is aimed at future competitions. And I'm glad to say Müller away. But the hold, unfortunately, costing him. Just couldn't quite keep it together there. Good Lucas, 77.5 metres then for him and for Austria. Just one team for the Austrians in this competition. Everybody else with 2. And 83.8 combined with 39 doesn't do it, I'm afraid. So third at the moment, but that will soon be reduced with 4 to go. So Li Shuai went for China for 70.6 marks, and Li Chao is going to have to go big on this one, ideally high 80s into the 90s if he can, but that's stamped down short. That's not going to work. So what looked to be a strong challenge from China, I'm afraid, has faded. Just 60 metres for Li Chao, which when you compare his distances in the first round, 62 metres, okay, it wasn't so big, but it was 4th best of the men, and 32 marks, I'm afraid, has probably put pay to their challenge. So probably, you can never account for things going wrong on either the jump or the landing area, but they'll have to rely on a mistake from another team to get anywhere close to it. So Jan Suchek then for the Czech Republic, jumping along with Dolezalova. Dolezalova will be a little disappointed with her first round jump, but she could find a bigger jump second round, so this is important for him to plant a good one. It's okay, but it doesn't really provide any protection for the number that his partner Dolezalova has turned in. 69.5. That will not be sufficient. Well, there's so many World Cup athletes on the women's side of these teams. They are comfortably out jumping the men at the moment. World Cup women giving a good account of themselves in these tricky conditions. So Suchek and Dolezalova, I think, have faded from the picture as Yunshiro Kobayashi prepares to jump for Japan 1. Japan well placed at the moment, 91.6 after Yuka Kobayashi's first round effort. This jump to remain the #1 team, but not yet. One of the first things that you learn in this particular sport, how to deal with these situations. There's nothing you can do about it. If you are called away from the gate, it must not feature in your thought pattern at all. Just move away and have the mental discipline, the mental toughness, as some sports psychologists might call it, to be able to go back to the start of the process, another very popular word in sports coaching these days. But make the process the same, get things as automatic as they can be and as stress-free as they can be. And that will leave, hopefully, the mind and body clear by the time you head to the next jump. Well, we're certainly getting all the views, aren't we, from Strubska Pleso in this competition. here on this 100 metre hill. 95 metres the calculation point. Looks like Domazalova heading back to the top. There'll be a short pause before the second jump. Not really quite sure what to say about that. He looks happy enough though. Certainly keeping him warm. There's the confirmation of the standing at the end of the first round. That fabulous jump by Yuka Kobayashi for 91.8 marks. That's such a huge distance between the rest of the field, even Japan too, that there is not that much pressure on Kobayashi. He can just turn in a par score here and still Japan 1 will be in an excellent position. Best jump by some distance so far in this men's first round section. 105.1 points from Mikhail Maximochkin, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough at the moment. More delays, more frustrations for the athletes here in Strypskie Pleso. But as you can see, the snowfall has increased once again. And you combine that with the wind, which is starting to swirl a little bit. It really isn't easy for the coaches to give the go for the athlete, and for the athletes to then find a jump in this sort of weather. And we've just got to keep our fingers crossed that this competition is actually going to go the distance. See from the wind gauge in the centre of your picture, that wind sweeping now across the venue, so it's basically from left to right as the jumpers come off the table and come onto their left shoulder. So Kobayashi away, this to hang on to the lead along with Yuka Kobayashi, and that will more than comfortably do it, and we could be looking at the gold medalists right here, even with a second round to come. And the Kobayashis have come to the party, no doubt about it. Crowd really responding to this. He's absolutely nailed that takeoff. 94 metres. That's the jump of the day. Not all that glamorous on the landing, but the judges have gone with him. Good scoring, 110.6. So Japan 1 will lead at the end of this first round. I think regardless of what this final jumper, Ilmir Hazedanov of Russia, does. So Hazedanov just off. You may have just heard in the background there, about 10 minutes between the two rounds. They're going to try and keep this competition ticking over. It's not a day for a half-hour delay to wait and see. Things are going to stay pretty much like this for the rest of the day here in Strypskie Pleso. No wonder he's happy. Cracking jump from Yunshiro. And he and Yuka set up for gold in the mixed team event. Well, this is tricky for the judging committee, for the jury. One athlete to go to complete round one. Taste of things to come, I think, would be the phrase on that last picture, because this is what is going to be in for the day. But full marks to the organisers for completing the programme. The World Cup athletes will have annexed this particular couple of weeks to come here to the competition, and it's testament to how popular the winter and summer Universiades still are. We see World Championship and Olympic athletes competing on a regular basis here, what used to be called the World Student Games. Many people still know it as such, but Universiade is its official name. Athletes competing up to the age of 28. And for some athletes that start very early in their careers and head to their first Universiade, they've got a decade to compete, and with it coming around every 2 years, not unusual to see athletes getting to 5 games. But it extends far beyond just the majors. It extends into a whole network of world championships and international meetings, and then down into individual countries as the individual university sports unions take their athletes through each season. It's horrible, horrible stuff at the moment. No wonder we've got this pause. I think we might just have seen a forerunner down, just to test whether Hatzedenov can go. He has been into the gate as Ilmir Hatzedenov, and then back out again. But it's so far so good for Yuka Kobayashi and the man in your picture, Yunshiro Kobayashi. Okay. Second go for Ilmir Hatzedenov. Avkamova desperately disappointed with her first round jump, actually less than Russia too. So Hatzedenov is going to have to find something big here. He's got to get into the hundreds, and then Avkamova's got to do the same in the second round. So big pressure jump here for Hatzedenov, and he's dealt with it well. Well, he's put the effort in, but that's not easy to see coming down. 88 metres, yeah, I think that took a little bit out of the final part of that jump when you're waiting for the ground to come up and basically thump you. Anyone that has skied will know that sensation in flat light, when the snow suddenly comes up to meet you, and he will have been going through the last phase of this jump waiting, and there it is, a very solid plant as he stomps that landing down, to coin a freestyle phrase, to make absolutely sure of it. And that's a good effort in these conditions. 100.5 then for Hatzedenov, but it means that Japan won. Are not being pressured at the moment. That's the results at the end of the first round. Japan won in a very strong position indeed. Good recovery after a jump from Maxim Mochkin for Russia too. Puts them in second position, and Japan too still looking good as well in third place. But Avkamova and Hatzedenov are going to have to produce some big jumps in this final round if they want to make it through. So that's your 9 teams at the moment. They will jump in reverse order for this final round. Snow not abating, wind still strong, blowing across the venue at the moment. Oh dear, and there we go. Well, just as we were looking forward to getting our second round underway, the final round cancelled. So that second round that came up on the graphic was indeed an indicator of the fact that that is the result. And we've been deprived, unfortunately, of what was going to be a pretty good competition, because I think we were going to see a bit of a shootout for those medals. But the second round, the final round as it is cancelled, so that first round result will stand. And Japan managing to get in onto the podium for a couple of medals there, but confirmation that the final round of the ski jumping, I'm afraid, here in Strupski Pleso is cancelled.